All right. Good morning. You are tuned into 1100 WSGI, and this is Lee Marie with The Go Show, your source for information, inspiration, and always a few dates to add to your calendar. I'm so glad that you have joined us today. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for today. Thank you for taking this show exactly where you want it to go. Guide our steps, our words. May everything we do and say today glorify you. We love you. We praise you. We need you. In the mighty and matchless name of Jesus. Amen. All right, guys, welcome to the Go Show. We got some special guests coming in, and boy, do I have calendar items. Woo! And I did go on the Lee Marie page and I shared a whole bunch. So if you go to Facebook, you'll already see some of what I'm talking about. But I'm glad that Scott was here from the VSO just now. He was here from on U-Turn Laverne show. And he was talking about veteran stuff, so I'm really glad because Veterans Day is coming up, guys, November 11th. And so, yes, they're going to be doing an open house and a mural revealing over at Post 45. And so you're not going to want to miss that. But there's other stuff going on, too, for Veterans Day. So I want to make sure you guys know about that. I'm going to hit one of them right now. Okay, this is also on Veterans Day, but this is at 2 p.m. And this is called the Music City Hayride Show. So it's 2.5 hours of traditional country music. It's at the Texas Troubadour Theater. Lots of free parking. 2416 Music Valley Drive in Nashville. Drinks, snacks, and pizza available at their bar there. Now, it's celebrating our veterans. That is the theme of this. And so there's going to be the Music City Hayride Band, which 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 8 people in that. But there's also going to be musical guests, other musical guests as well, local and regional. And this is a fundraiser. The money is going to be going to a nonprofit corporation that supports veterans and also Alzheimer's causes. So that is what this is, and the admission is only $10 donation request. So we hope you guys may consider going to that November 11th, and that is at the Texas Troubadour Theater, 2416 Music Valley Drive, and it's going to be celebrating our veterans. So thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Davis, for bringing that to our TFA meeting. That's how I heard about that. And speaking of TFA, guys, remember our Second Amendment group meets every second Monday at the American Legion in Greenbrier, Post 45. And the guest coming in November will be from the Gun Owners of America. And he is the regional director for that. So I'm really excited because as far as I know, because we've been involved with TFA for the past almost 8 years now. I don't remember having anybody from GOA able to come out because they don't, it's completely volunteer people and they're always very busy. But anyway, Monty Bauer is the name, and he's the Western Regional Director with Gun Owners of America. So he oversees 11 Western states. He's been with GOA for the past 5 years. He has a distinguished 30-year career in law enforcement where he was with the sheriff's office in another county, not our sheriff's office. But anyways, really interesting guy. And of course, GOA has always got so much great information for us, guys. And I purposely asked them to come in November because I was at the annual TFA event, which very good, guys. You really should not miss that annual. It's always Labor Day weekend. Anyways, I was at the annual TFA event, and GOA was there, and they had just so much merch that was really cool. And I said, I would love to be able to see all this stuff right before Christmas because a lot of this stuff would make great Christmas gifts. So I asked him, please come in November and bring your merch because great opportunity to support a wonderful organization, support our Second Amendment rights. Because guys, remember, if we lose our Second Amendment, we can lose anything and everything. So you want to make sure you support that. And then, like I said, we do have a local chapter, Robertson County chapter of the Tennessee Firearms Association right here in Robertson County, a very active group. And you are all invited that second Monday of November. At 6 o'clock, we do a fabulous potluck. Doors open at 5:45. Potluck starts at 6, and then our program starts around 6:35, 6:40. And we're always out by 8. So it's a great way to come out on a Monday. All right, some other calendar items, guys. I was over at the library yesterday dropping off my retired flag. Yes, they do have a box. The Boy Scouts actually made a lovely box right there in the lobby of the library. So if you have a flag that is tattered or torn and ready to be retired, please take it there because it will get disposed of correctly and honorably. And so thank you to the Boy Scouts, the local Boy Scouts for doing that. We really appreciate that. And while I was dropping off my flag yesterday, I picked up the brand new November calendar for the library. And I do want to highlight before my guest starts, I do want to highlight a few things because there is a huge book sale coming up, guys. You do not want to miss this because the books are very, very cheap. I mean, I want to say it was like $1 a book or something. I mean, a lot of them were very excellent prices. So the library is having their annual book sale, and this is just a 2-day thing, guys. It's Friday, November 7th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then Saturday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So I hope that you guys will take advantage of that. So our county library, Stokes Brown Public Library, right there on White Street and 5th, you can't miss it. They have some great stuff coming up. And also, they do have an adult exercise class now on Mondays at 1 o'clock. And they also are having PowerPoint class on Thursday, November 6th. And my friend just showed me something recently. I was sad because Publisher went away, but I found out that I can make flyers, fabulous flyers in PowerPoint, and it works very similar to Publisher because, as you know, those of you that were using Publisher and then you try to make flyers in Microsoft Word, you can't move things around as easily. They they go, crazy ways. But PowerPoint, you can move stuff around and make flyers. And I always thought of PowerPoint more as just a slideshow. So, anyways, they have great free computer classes at the library. This PowerPoint one's at 11 a.m. on the 6th of November, and then they have they have a bunch. I mean, they have 11 o'clock on the 3rd, which is a Monday, Internet Safety, Computers 101 on the 4th, Computers 102 on the 5th. They got a lot of free computer classes. Take advantage of those, guys. And then remember, of course, on November 11th, everything is closed, and that does include the library. Right after that, then the 14th, which is a Friday, the library board meeting, that is open to the public to attend. So you can do that. It's at 8:30 a.m. You have to enter the side door because the library will be closed. And then last library thing I wanted to mention is Scholastic Book Fair is coming, and that is going to be November 17th to the 22nd. So there you go. And if you want to get more involved, the Friends of the Library has a meeting, and you can join this to get involved, to give back to the community. Their next Friends of the Library meeting is coming up, and it is on the 6th at 1 p.m. So that is November 6th, Friends of the Library, if you want to get involved. All right, my fabulous guest is here. Stephen, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Have you been enjoying our Tuesday night class?
I'm enjoying the Tuesday night class. We talked about the kinsman redeemer last night, and I was thinking about that, and I thought, I could go in there and talk about the kinsman redeemer today, but something came up in the kinsman redeemer thing. We didn't talk about that much, but it's very interesting. So word for the day is going to be jail, which is, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Forgive me out there for people. I know, I'm going to be asking for a lot of comments from people from the audience today, because I know the audience knows more about this than I do, but I think this is so fascinating, this one aspect of the kinsman redeemer, which I am very fascinated with, and I love looking stuff up on the internet and talking to AI and find out what things cost and all that. In biblical times, way back in the day, there was this word it's spelled G-A-A-L, and there's some marks on it too, some symbols that go with it. But it has something to do with the kinsman redeemer, when the kinsman redeemer is the blood avenger. Now, this is really interesting. We talked about the Avengers, and there's been a bunch of movies about the Avengers. But I think word for the day being jail, which I'm probably not saying it correctly, but, with the Hebrew, I'm not a Hebrew person, but pardon me, I'm drinking water now. You can't hear me. But anyway, sorry about that. The kinsman redeemer as the blood avenger. We talk about the kinsman redeemer as the blood avenger. We talk about Jesus as a blood sacrifice for the redemption of sins. And we have all of this wonderful stuff in the Bible that talks about this. But the thing that was so interesting to me was that, of course, and one other thing here, the blood avenger. Now, we talk about the paying the ransom, right? The kinsman redeemer could pay a ransom to redeem somebody who had sold themselves into slavery. So the rules for the kinsman redeemer were that it had to be a blood relative. Now, this was usually, they talk about this being an uncle, right? But a blood relative would come in and pay and basically pay off, sort of pay off your debt to the person who you were sold into slavery for and give you back your freedom and often give you back your land and your house and all that. Now, this was going to be a very expensive project, but a kinsman redeemer would do that. Now, if there were a few years between the year of Jubilee and the time of the redemption, there might be extra money that had to be paid because it was far away from a Jubilee, it was in between Jubilee years. So between Jubilee years, kinsman redeemer would have to pay more money to free their kin who had sold themselves into slavery because they're paying for the loss of the labor. And do you know how much, in general, a slave cost back in the day? Okay, back in biblical times. Now, I'm not an expert on this, so I'm really relying on the audience that knows more about this than I do. But I'm just going to bring up what I found as some of the facts, and we'll let you all figure it out, and you all can comment on it, and you all can talk more about it online. 30 shekels, 30 pieces of silver, or 30 shekels of silver, was the cost of a slave, of a male slave, adult male. Now, we all know that Judas received 30 shekels of silver to sell out Jesus, right? And we also know that Joseph, who was sold by his brothers many years before to the slaves that were passing through, the slave traders, when he was sold into slavery, they received 20 shekels of silver because he was a young man. And I also looked up here and found out that young girls between the ages of 10 and 20, I think, they cost 10 shekels of silver. But do you know how much 30 shekels of silver is worth in dollars, or how much it's worth in real life? Well, in real life, it's 6 months or 4 months' wages of a laborer. So if you hired a laborer to pick cotton or to cut your tobacco, and whatever you pay them for 4 months, that's what it cost to buy a slave. That's what 30 shekels of silver is worth. It's worth 120 days of a laborer's wages. Okay, that's what 30 shekels of silver was worth back in the day. So we can figure it out that way. But one of the very interesting things here about the blood avenger, not the redeemer, the redeemer is the redeemer as a ransom is a different word. They use a word called lutro, which is L-U-T-R-O. Okay, and that means a release on receipt of ransom. So if a slave was being repurchased or a slave was being freed, someone that was a kinsman would come, and only a blood relative could free them, according to the way it worked with the laws of Leviticus. That what would happen is that they would pay the 30 shekels, right? And all the other debts that were owed on top of that. And they would free them as a receipt of ransom. Okay, that would be a purchasing of the slave's freedom. And that word was L-U-T-R-O-O. Someone online can tell me how that's supposed to be said. Okay. Now, that is very different from jail, G-A-A-L, because that has to do with a avenger of blood. When a kinsman has been murdered, this is very interesting. When a kinsman has been murdered, the kin that comes in to make it right is the one who executes the murderer, who puts the murderer to death. So this is a very interesting rule. And this was the one that I found really, really interesting, because this is something that goes a little bit deeper. And then, of course, the book here on Foundations for Biblical Freedom, he goes into it quite well, and he talks about this. And I'm going to give you this little story here because it's so interesting that when Adam and Eve fell into sin, which is the sin that results in death. Satan successfully deceives Eve, and she ate of the fruit. Some people like to think of it as an apple. I like to think of it as a peach or something sweet, or maybe some peach cobbler, which is my favorite. I think you could tempt me with some peach cobbler, that's for sure. Well, Satan, what happened was, when he successfully deceived Eve and she ate the fruit, she gave it to Adam, and Adam ate it, and thus mankind died spiritually and physically. All future humans resided in Adam's loins, and the seed carried a sinful heritage. That Satan caused Adam's death, right? Jesus described in John 8:44, "You are of the father of the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it." So when we think about this, that this murderer, Satan is being described as a murderer, but we see here in Numbers where it says that murderers should be put to death. The blood avenger himself will participate in the execution. That is the jail or the gale. I don't know how you're supposed to say it, so y'all can correct me online. This will occur when the two of them meet. When will the two of them meet? Well, they will meet at the end of time, so to speak, right? So Jesus is going to come back here, and this idea here that Jesus is coming back at the end of time to slay the murderer of his kinsman, to be the blood avenger of his kinsman. This is the most interesting thing. And you know, it's in the Bible, but I never even really discovered this until last night. And I've been reading this stuff for years, and I never really discovered this thing about the blood avenger, right? So this blood avenger, he comes in and he kills the murderer of his kinsman. So if your kinsman was murdered in olden days, what happened was the whole town would get together, because it says here, of course, that the blood that was spilled, the blood sheddeth, the blood, it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. So the murderer has to be killed, and his blood has to be shed to heal his land. The word jail refers to the next of kin as the avenger of blood for his murdered relative. The avenger of blood. These are three words that are linked together in the scripture. Now, I think this is so interesting, right? That this must be paid for by the equivalent life of the murderer. So it is a life for life. This is what they call the capital punishment. And I know that our prosecutors in Robertson County and a lot of our people out here believe that when somebody is murdered, that their murderer should be put to death. Now, I know we've got a very complicated law here, and some people say, well, being put in prison for the rest of your life is probably worse than being put to death, and so a lot of people just get life in prison. I understand that. I understand that's what they do. But in old Bible times, that did not fly. In the old biblical times, what happened was the murderer had to be put to death, or the land would not be cleansed. I don't know. Now, I don't want to comment too much on this, but I think I know what y'all are thinking out there. We need to put some murderers to death to cleanse our land, don't we? Yeah, I know you're thinking that. I'm not going to comment on that, but I know you might be thinking that right now. So there are a lot of folks out there. Now, I know there's other things going on here, but when we go deep, deep, deep into this idea of the blood avenger, there are so many things that come up. There's the law. There's the idea of what's morally right, morally wrong, but there is the Levitican law. And I think that when God makes a law, it becomes a law forever. And it is a law, and that's my opinion, I know, but I don't believe that the laws that God made ever go away. And this is why I fear and tremble whenever I think about the Lord, because I think about the judgment of God against those who have trespassed against the law. Now, this is very scary because God is very serious, okay? God is not a frivolous God. God is a serious God. And what might be happening here is that people are really being punished for their sin. Now, I know a lot of folks out there going, no, wait a minute. Now, Jesus has paid the price. Yes, understand this, that when Jesus comes to pay the price for this sin, he becomes the ransom receipt redeemer. And at the end of time, he will become the blood avenger redeemer when he kills the devil, right? Now, that's the whole idea, that for now, he's becoming the ransom receipt redeemer. And at the end of time, he becomes the blood avenger. So he is, there's the two different words there. The one word was lut. I can't say it anyway. You know what I mean. Anyway, there's two words there. One is the blood avenger and one is the ransom receipt redeemer. So the blood avenger must be the one who puts the murderer to death. And that murderer must be put to death for the land to be cleansed. Now, knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man, but for the lawless and disobedient. This is the scary part here, the one that makes you fear and tremble. For the ungodly and for sinners, for unholy and profane, for murderers of fathers and murderers of mothers, for manslayers, for whoremongers, for they that defile themselves with mankind, for man-stealers, for liars, for perjured persons, and if there be any other thing that is contrary to the sound doctrine, according to the glorious gospel of the blessed God, which was committed to my trust. That's 1 Timothy 1, 9 through 11. Now, we understand. Here we have, from Numbers 35, 17, we talk about here that murderers should be put to death. The blood avenger himself will participate in the execution. This will occur when the two meet. When Christ, our kinsman redeemer, returns to earth, he will meet the destroyer face to face, bind him for 1,000 years, and then loose him for a short time. Then, acting as our blood avenger, Jesus will bind Satan and cast him and his angels into the lake of fire, where they will be tormented for eternity. That's Matthew 25, 41. Satan and his minions are guilty and won't ever be set free. That means that God is just. Now, I want to say, I don't know about you, but that sounds like a very scary proposition for those wrongdoers. Leviticus 25:23, the land shall not be sold forever, for the land is mine, and ye are strangers and sojourners with me. And in all the land of your possession, you shall grant a redemption for the land. If thy brother be waxen poor and hath sold away some of his possession, and if any of his kin come to redeem it, then shall he redeem that which his brother sold. That means his brother would get all of his land back. So the kinsman redeemer that comes as a receipt for ransom will free the man who had sold some of his possessions and get those possessions back for him. So this is kind of like he went to the pawn shop. He went down to a local pawn shop and he pawned off his saxophone and his guitar and his piano. And now his brother, the kinsman redeemer, who must be a blood relative, goes and pays the ransom and gets those items back for him, and he receives his property back and any of the land as well. When Satan gained the serpent gained dominion over mankind after Adam and Eve had sinned, the rulership of the earth, that's it. He gains dominion over mankind and the rulership of the earth. So this is the idea here that when the serpent deceived Adam and Eve, what happens is that the serpent, he gains possession of the land. Now, this is very interesting. This is a very interesting idea. Genesis 1:26-28. Satan became known as the ruler of this world. Okay, hereafter I will not talk much with you, for the prince of this world cometh and hath nothing in me. That's John 14:30. Now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the prince of this world be cast out. That's John 12:31. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. Now that comes from Corinthians. So here we have an idea here that this land and this gospel are connected, right? But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. In him the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believeth not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them. Satan's worldly throne is his temporary position, but our kinsman redeemer has the power and authority to remove all squatters and invaders off of the land that had once belonged to his kinsman. Jesus Christ will evict Satan and his kingdom from the world, bind him and cast him into the lake of fire forever and ever. The day of vengeance and the battle of Armageddon will be the day of his second coming. Now, this is according to the commentary from the Biblical Foundations for Freedom, but I think it brings up an important point here, and that is that when someone sells their possessions or is sold into slavery, the dominion of their person and their land gets taken over by the new owner, right? And it takes a blood relative to get that back. Now, that's part of the Levitican law. So this was the part here that was so interesting to me, that even as the Levitican law says that when the life was taken, when the person was murdered, the kinsman comes back to redeem the death, and by doing that, he must kill the murderer, but he must be a blood relative of the person who was murdered. Now, this is so interesting. Both the possessions, the cleansing of the land, and the possession and the dominion of the land, and the dominion of the soul of the person right now is under the dominion of Satan until Jesus comes back and evicts Satan, gets the land back, returns the land back to his people, returns the souls back to their people. So the dominion of the person over the person and the dominion over the land are both owned by the devil due to the fact that Adam and Eve had sinned. Now, this is a very interesting idea. Now, I'm not going to comment on it because I'm not smart enough to know enough about this. But I want you all out there, if you know anything about this, I want you all to call Lee Marie on her phone and tell her right now or after the show. We can text her directly to her phone if you want, and you can tell Lee Marie all about it, and she'll tell me because we live in the same household since we are married. But you tell her, you tell that husband of yours, he don't know what he's talking about. This is how it really is. But anyway, if y'all want to comment on that, please do, because y'all know more about it than I do. I'm not an expert in this field, but I am so fascinated by the idea. Lee Marie, I'm so fascinated by the idea that the land and our bodies and our souls, that the dominion of that was taken over by Satan, and that Jesus has to come back and redeem that land, redeem our souls, redeem our bodies from Satan. Now, this is very interesting, and I know it can lead to a lot of different ideas and a lot of different strange beliefs and doctrines, but if y'all know more about this than I do, please comment on this. Please call Lee Marie or text us or whatever, because we want to know more about this.
Yeah, but no, it was very interesting last night, definitely. And I think that there's 3 more classes, if I'm not mistaken.
There might be 3 more sessions together on a Tuesday night, and we'll be bringing you what we learned from that, from John and Shannon's Biblical Foundations for Freedom by Art Matthias. This is a program he put together when he was near death and he needed to heal himself of all of his phobias. And this is one of the things that they're doing now. They're offering this for free. It's free counseling, it's free prayers, and they will get you right and get you straight and get you off of your phobias and get you off of your diseases. So many people are being redeemed, and so many people are being healed of diabetes and other things, and a lot of the phobias that go along with this, but we don't have time to get into all that. But I can tell you right now, one of the wonderful things about this is that when you receive freedom in any one area, it just makes you want to even push harder to get free in every area of your life and get yourself well.
Yeah, that's it. That is true. Now, before you leave, Stephen, because I know our next guest is ready, I should say guests, plural, let's go ahead and do our ad for Ridgetop Mower. Now, if you guys missed Laverne's show yesterday, make sure you go and watch that, because Gary Rastelli of Ridgetop Mower of Springfield was on and had.
That was such a great show. If you did not see the show yesterday, please go back to Facebook and look at WSTI 1100 on Facebook and watch that show with Gary. Gary, at one point early on, Gary was actually interviewing Laverne. It was so good. He's so good on the radio. He knows how to. He was asking her questions, and she's just so insightful when she was answering questions from Gary, and then she asked Gary some questions, and it was so insightful to hear from him. This is one of the best shows you're ever going to hear on the radio. I can tell you right now. It was so much fun. But anyway, Gary at Ridgetop Mower, Gary Rastelli is working very hard for, I think he's been over 50 years. He's been into this. Yeah, it's definitely over 50 years. He started out when he was about 13 years old. He would go into the junkyard and he would take mowers home. He'd climb the fence and he would see what he could find, and he would drag old mowers home and he would fix them up. And then he eventually got a job in one of the oldest lawnmower shops in the New Jersey area, and that is just such a great story to hear. How he came about. But you want to see Gary at Ridgetop Mower in Springfield. He's on 1100 Matthews Street, right behind Ace Hardware and Baldwin Barbecue. And get yourself a sandwich at Baldwin, and then go down to see Gary and talk to him, because he is an expert in every field when it comes to mowers and anything.
And
about
give the
mowers.
phone number. What is the phone number?
His phone number is 615-844.
0093.
No,
No?
I forgot it.
Oh.
0055. Now Gary's going to be listening right now.
Oh,
He's like,
my
that's not the
goodness.
phone number.
Oh,
But
my
anyway,
goodness.
sorry about that. But 1100 Matthew Street, and I got a few more things to say about that.
Okay, here it is. 615-855-0044.
0044. There it is.
There you go, 0044. And our next
855
guest is ready, and I'm going to need your help to bring in our next two guests.
Thank you.
Can you bring in the chair that doesn't roll and bring that in for Tom?
Tom is the four-legged friend.
All right, guys. When we bring in our next guest, I'm going to tell you about one other sponsor, and that is UPS Store. They are so amazing, and their customer service is second to none. And they are located at 513 Memorial Boulevard in Springfield. Their phone number is 615-384-0093. There it is. That's the phone number. You want to make sure you get in there for all your printing needs. If you need business cards made, if you need, and they always look for these fluorescent flyers, guys, because the UPS Store always has wonderful coupons that you can use. This one particular here is 10% off wide format prints. It is not too late, guys. I mean, it's not too early to start. Oh, how cute! To start ordering those Christmas presents, guys. So, however you want to do it, Randy, if you want to put them in your lap, or if you want to, we brought in a second chair that doesn't swivel. So, however you want to do that. As our guest gets ready, I want to make sure you go out to UPS. Make sure you tell them that Lee Marie sent you. They have somebody there that can help you with your designing. So maybe you're less like, I don't even have it ready. That's okay. And then, of course, they do blueprints, and they do. Oh, how cute. Oh, my goodness. This dog is so precious. You guys, you got to tune in on Facebook or YouTube, because we have Tom the pup here, and he is adorable. All right, I'm going to now turn it over to Mr. Randy. Randy Beach, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Good. Now I got your microphone on. So I see you have Tom here.
Yes, ma'am.
And I heard that Tom is that's okay. You can jump up there. Tom is a star of the screen already, because he's already been on Channel 2.
Yes, ma'am. He was on News 2 about a week ago.
All right, I'm going to come see him. Hello, baby. You can talk a little bit about Tom.
Yes, ma'am. So he's a 9-month-old lab mix, maybe a little bit of shepherd mixed in, we believe. He came in as a stray with his sister. His sister was adopted last month, so he's still looking for his forever home. He loves everybody and anybody, gets along with other dogs. We're not sure on cats yet, as we haven't tested him.
So precious. Hey, Steven, come and take a picture. So how old did you say?
9 months.
9
It's
months.
our estimate. Yes, ma'am.
And part shepherd and part black lab?
Yes, yes, ma'am. Lab for sure, and we believe he's a little shepherd, because when they came in, they had some deeper color markings.
Oh.
And then as he's gotten a little bit older, the last couple months, it has kind of phased out to mostly lab.
Oh, my goodness.
yes, I
So
know.
adorable.
I know you're trying to steal the show.
And that's okay. We want you to steal the show, because you are so beautiful, and you're so friendly, and you're so loving. Yes. And where can people come to meet him?
At Robertson County Animal Control, we're located on West County Farm Road at 2903. We're open.
Can I bring him over here?
Yeah, we're
I'll
open.
bring him over here while you talk. Sorry.
That's okay.
Come here, baby.
We're open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 for adoptions. We just ask our last appointment be at 3:30, so we have time to show all the animals and for everyone to have time to do paperwork and stuff.
Okay, one more time. What are the hours?
Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 4. Last appointment is at 3:30, and that is at 2903 West County Farm Road.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now that's a new facility.
Yes, ma'am. It's 2 years old, actually.
Oh my gosh, already?
Yes, ma'am. Halloween.
Oh my gosh.
It'll be 2 years old on Halloween.
Oh my gosh, I love Tom. I love Tom. So sweet. Now that facility is on the opposite side of the dump or the trash.
Yes, ma'am. Our old facility at 2900 was next to the little convenience center. The new facility is right across the road from the same convenience center.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, how much are dog adoptions and cat adoptions, and how much she got of everybody right now?
So for dogs, it's $90, and for cats, it's $80. That includes their first round of shots, including rabies, being fixed, and microchipping.
Oh my goodness, what a deal!
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, how many dogs you got available right now? Oh, you saw Steven. He likes Steven.
Available, we have.
I'll give him to Steven. Here you go,
Okay.
Steven. He wants to see you. He saw you, and he was like, "Go ahead, go ahead, go see Steven." His name's Tom.
Come on, Tom.
There you go. We're gonna look those up right now.
So for dogs, I currently have 6 available.
Oh, okay.
Everything we get in, we have to go through an evaluation process, make sure they're good to go. Some of them, of course, we get in that may be cruelty.
Oh.
We may be holding them because the owners may have been in an accident and incapacitated.
Oh my gosh.
So there's different reasons, or they may be under a stray hold, something like that. So
Okay.
not every animal we have is available.
Okay.
But we have right now 6 dogs and 2 cats that are available for the public.
All right.
And in the next week or so, we should have more coming up because we're
Okay.
trying to do some spay neuter trips to get more of our animals to go
Okay.
out on the floor.
And I heard that Billy Vogel talked about you guys are needing some volunteers right now. Is that your group or is that another shelter?
I believe that would be us. We're always open to volunteers, and also we're looking for fosters.
Ah.
So yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Now, how does your foster system work?
We have an application process for the fosters. They just come out, do the application, or we can, if they contact us, we will send it by email. And then once that's done, we can look at what may be the best fit or what they're looking to help us with as far as fostering.
Uh-huh.
A lot of animals do great, and then once they're in a shelter situation, they may shut down
Oh,
and
yeah.
be more timid and everything. So in a foster setting, that helps animals show their natural behavior and temperament, and then it helps with finding them already being in a home setting. It helps them adjust quicker to a new
Ah, yeah, that makes sense, definitely. And I know that it's always good also to have people just come by and visit, right? Because it makes them more social as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So I know Laverne's looking for some barn cats. Did you hear that on her show today?
I did not.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. So do you have some cats that would be good for a barn?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to tell
I
her.
have some that would be perfect candidates for a barn situation.
Okay, so any other advice that that you have for people right now as far as this time of year? Because I know the last time I think I had you on, it was coyote mating season, and so it was like, beware of that. And now somebody told me it is skunk mating season, and beware of skunks. Is that true?
I haven't kept up with it
Okay,
too much.
okay.
That would be more for Jason and Caleb, the game
Oh, okay.
wardens in the area.
Okay.
It may be if you see them out and about, it's probably getting close to that time of year.
Okay.
Also, with the skunks, you have to watch. They can carry rabies
Oh,
and everything, so you just have to be careful of that when interacting.
okay.
And then the biggest thing right now, I would say, is with the holidays and people traveling coming up soon in the next month, to have your animals microchipped or have identification collars, tags. That way, if they do get lost, it makes it easier to
Yes.
contact the owners and the family and everything. Because we get a lot of strays in that don't have that, or they may have a microchip, but it's not registered. So they never did that final step.
Oh, goodness.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's really good advice because on the socials, it breaks my heart when I see all the people that, have lost their dogs. But then, like you said, so many of them are out there without IDs. And even though our dogs, we have a fenced yard and everything, but I know that one day on 4th of July, our dog had superpowers and jumped the fence. And so I always make sure my dogs, have IDs on them because you just never know what could happen. Maybe a criminal or a thief comes over, and opens your gate, lets your dogs out so he can, go in and.
The past year or two, I believe a lot of people were reporting their Frenchies, French bulldogs, were missing.
Oh, really?
For a while, that was kind of a hot breed.
Oh.
As far as a lot of people were wanting them.
Interesting.
and everything. So that I know there was some cases here where people were missing their French bulldogs, where
Wow.
their gates were opened or the dogs just completely disappeared out of their own yards.
Oh my gosh.
We've had cases where some dogs were just taken. We've also had some cases where, like you brought up the 4th of July, July 5th is the busiest day of the year for animal controls. That's when the most animals go missing
Yeah.
because of the fireworks. And
Yeah, people just don't think about that enough, like what that really sounds like to a dog. They think, oh my gosh, we are under attack. I need to find my human, if they're not home.
Let's get him on camera one more time.
Okay, let's put a close up of Tom. There we go.
So
Tom
there he
the
is.
dog. So
You see
sweet.
Tom there?
Oh, just what a sweet, sweet baby. I better show my one friend who has 2 black labs already. Maybe she would like a third.
he loves anybody and everybody.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Like so, when we was down on News 2 the other week, he was down there just trying to go and visit everybody in their newsroom
Ah.
and everything.
How adorable. Now, what other advice do you have, Randy? Like, I know that you probably get some calls when, when there's stray dogs out or different things like that. What advice should they call on and should they not call on?
If they're concerned for the animal's well-being or safety, if it's running in and out of traffic, if it looks sick or injured, give us a call at 615-384-5611. We'll make a ticket on it.
Give that phone number one more time, please.
615-384-5611 is our
Okay.
office number.
Okay.
If we don't answer right away, as we are out throughout the building at times, just leave a voicemail and we will return the call.
Okay. All right.
And then from there, also if it's on the weekends or nights and it's an emergency situation, animal hit by a car, something like that, they can call dispatch. And dispatch will get with our officers
Okay.
also.
Okay. All right. And so, other things that maybe people call in that they shouldn't be calling in on? Do you have any of that?
It kind of varies because I would say a lot, we do get tethering calls, people saying someone's animal's leashed out in their yard, or tethered.
Oh, okay.
There's not specifically a tethering law in the state or in the county, but if the animal is tethered in such a way that it can injure itself or not have accessibility to its water, shelter,
yeah.
stuff like that,
Then it's animal cruelty.
it can be considered neglect. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. So it's a welfare check at that point. So they
Okay.
need to contact us so we can go out and educate and correct the situation where appropriate.
Okay, very good point. So you can call them for a welfare check if you see that an animal perhaps is, can't get to their water and because sometimes they can just get wound around a tree so many times or something like that.
Yes, ma'am. And then last year the law changed to where they now define shelter in the state of Tennessee. In the past, it was a gray area as far as what constituted a shelter. But last year, the state assembly passed a amendment to the TCA code that now defines a shelter clearly as far as the ability to have 4 walls, a roof, the ability to stand, move around comfortably, and everything.
Interesting. I'm gonna move this a little bit closer to you. Yeah. All right. All right. What else are we missing about the animal control and procedures over there?
Just come out and visit us. If you're wanting to come by and see the animals, give us a call or drop in. We do walk-ins. We just ask usually for an appointment. That way we make sure one of our officers is there or our staff to help get the animals out and give a tour.
And what kind of things do you need dropped off donation-wise?
We take any and everything from blankets, towels, T-shirts to cleaning supplies, bleach, Pine Sol, Dawn, all that. Gloves, the blue nitrile is preferred. Our most common sizes are mediums and extra large. But like I said, we'll take dog food, cat food, toys, just anything and everything.
And you said T-shirts.
We use those sometimes in the cat cages.
Oh,
So it gives
good
the
to
cat,
know.
it helps the cats have more
Cushion.
cushion, and then if they do, like we get ferals in, ferals won't necessarily use a litter box. So it helps the cage from being completely a mess. They'll just use the shirt, and we can just take the shirt out and either wash it or just dispose of it, depending on how bad it is.
Now, you guys are Robertson County. Now, there's also a Springfield Animal Control.
There's a Springfield and a Greenbrier.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Springfield and Greenbrier do their respective cities.
Okay.
We do everyone else outside of those two cities in the
Okay.
county.
Okay, so that's who they should call if if the animal is in the county and not in a particular Springfield or Greenbrier city.
Yes, ma'am. And a lot of people aren't sure, so when they call us, we'll direct them to if it's us or if they need to call the appropriate agency.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, which is the agencies that's putting up those really pretty pictures? Is that you guys or Springfield?
We do-
Somebody's got a professional photographer like loading up these glamour shots.
I'll have to
on
check.
Facebook.
We do our series of pictures, but I believe Springfield has recently changed their photo setup, and it's been really well for them, I believe.
Okay, yeah, because I've been seeing these and I'm just like, it didn't look like shelter animals at all. I don't know if they're photoshopped or what. And I was like, I wonder who's
There's-
doing that.
There are programs or apps out there you can use to help enhance the photo or take the animal and crop it out and place it on a background. That's what we do, especially during holidays and everything. Yes, ma'am. That's
Yeah.
Springfield.
Okay, they're doing these glamour shots, you know, with I mean they just look adore. Oh yeah. Oh hello. Look at these with the jackets and
Mhm.
everything. So this is an app that they're doing.
It's well, the clothes and stuff. I'm not sure, but the background could be
Oh
one
my
of the
gosh.
apps like that helps with enhancing photography.
All right. Well, these are great. I'm anxious to see like how much their you know adoption has been going up with you know with all these like little scarves and jewelry and, and stuff. Or maybe it goes down. I don't know. Do you guys work with them or what's that relationship?
Usually the respective agencies all handle our own jurisdiction. Now, if it's a situation where something happened in one of ours, but the responsibility falls in the other, then we will contact each other and pass that along.
Okay.
Or in some situations, if it's something dire or may need assistance, we have worked with each other in the past.
Okay. All right. Well, is there anything else before we go? Because I'm going to do a couple more sponsors after you leave. But I am so glad that you were able to bring Tom in. I want to see Tom one more time. So, Stephen, bring him on over. While I do that, Randy, you can give your hours and stuff again. Come here, Tom.
Sean, there he is.
Sweetheart, look at you. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
So our hours down at Robertson County Animal Control are Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 4 for adoptions. We do ask that the last appointment be at 3:30, just so we have time to show the animals and to do paperwork and everything if you did decide to adopt. Dogs are $90, cats are $80. That includes the first round of vaccines, including rabies, microchipping, and being spayed and neutered. Then our hours, like I said, are from 10 to 4. We are located at 2903 West County Farm Road in Springfield, Tennessee, right across from the convenience center where you can take your kitchen trash and everything.
Come here. Come here, baby. Come on up. Oh, what a good boy. Look at this sweet baby. Oh, my goodness. Thank you so much for coming in, Mr. Tom. Yes, I'm going to tell people about you. We're going to find you a home before Christmas time. Yes, we are. All right, thank you so much, Randy.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Tom. See, oh, he wants to stay. Okay. He wants to stay. All right, guys, we do have a couple more sponsors to talk about. So, Tom, you want to do these sponsors with me? All right, I think he does. Okay, Southside Drug Co., guys. This is your pharmacy, but also your place to find some wonderful gifts. If you haven't been over there lately, you got to check them out. Linda's got her gorgeous cards over there. They're located at 1000 South Main Street, right there at the end of the square. Check them out. Make sure you tell them Lee Marie sent you. They also do a lot of other things, and we're going to be having them on pretty soon. Tell you about some of the new features that they have. But I know that they do free delivery if you are local. So make sure you go into Southside. You can also visit their website at southsidedrugco.com. One other sponsor I want to tell you about, since Tom's being so sweet right here. We're going to tell you about Coldstream Christian Camp. They have a fall festival coming up, guys. It's on a Sunday, which is wonderful because it doesn't compete with all your Friday and Saturday fall festivals. And they are Ian Adams on Goodman Road. And let me get the date of their event is Sunday, November 16th, 3 p.m. The tickets are only $5 pre-sale, $10 at the door. It's 4730 Goodman Road. Kids 2 and under are free. They also are taking vendor tables. So $25, guys, and you can be a vendor at the Coldstream Christian Camp Fall Festival. There's going to be face painting, hay rides, line dancing by guess who, haha. And I think they're even going to maybe do some fishing and some different fall games. And so it's going to be a super fun family time over at Coldstream. So check them out. Go to their free fall festival. And then I do want to tell you that there's going to be a fundraiser for Samaritan's Purse coming up. And guess who is performing? Daddy-O on the patio, Steve Gerald. You guys also know him from Sons of the Beach. And that is going to be on Friday night, November 14th. The doors open at 6:30 and the concert starts at 7 o'clock. All the proceeds will be going to Samaritan's Purse Operation Christmas Child. Guys, they're the ones that make those cool gift boxes that send all over around the countries. Oh my goodness. Are you ready to go now, baby? All right. He said, okay, Daddy, I'm ready to go. Oh, what a sweet boy. Thanks again, Randy.
Thank y'all for having me.
Okay, guys, let me finish telling you about this fundraiser. So you can get your tickets starting November 1st over at Crossroads Christian Bookstore because there will be a limited amount of tickets that are let out. Even though it is a free event, we got to make sure we only have a certain amount of people. So you can get those tickets, again, starting November 1st over at Crossroads. The admission will be free, and then we'll be taking donations to help get those boxes where they need to go because there's a lot that's involved. If you missed last Friday's show, One Street Over, I was filling in for U-Turn Laverne, and we actually had someone from Samaritan's Purse here talking all about that. And so it's just so wonderful what they're doing. Matter of fact, Gary was talking about Samaritan's Purse too. But we hope that you guys will all come to hear Steve Gerald and his band in a briefcase. It's going to be at Well in the Square. So what you do is you go inside Crossroads, go to the back where we have our big main ballroom, and that is where the concert is going to be on Friday, November 14th. Again, doors open at 6:30 and the concert starts at 7. And I know you all know him because he is so popular, and I know he's got such a big following. And so it's going to be just a real fun time, you know, a reunion, seeing lots of old friends and stuff. So we hope you guys will come out to that fundraiser. All right, we talked about
See a
Ridgetop.
smile on a child's face, right?
That's right.
You know what he said? There's nothing greater than seeing a smile on a child's face. So
That's right.
we're doing a benefit. It is for children, and so anything like that, it's one of those things. It's for the kids, but it's for children. And you remember when you were a child, you remember waiting for Christmas and hoping that Santa would bring you something.
Mhm.
And we never lose that. I think we all are always hoping that Santa brings us something for Christmas, and this is a Christmas thing. So please, if you can come out, or you can support it, or you just want to donate some money to it,
That's true. You can
fine.
just stop
In other
by.
words, this is all volunteers. Nobody gets paid for this ever on this kind of a thing. So everybody's volunteering, and that's just what it is. I mean, we do have to pay the rent for the venue, but other than that, nobody gets paid. So please support that. Support Christmas, support children, and come on out to that. Or call us up, tell us you want to do a donation to it. We can take the donations, and that is going to support that event.
That's right. And you can also drop off donations at Crossroads. They're open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And on Fridays, they're open 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So there's a couple different ways to get involved. And yeah, we were talking about like, oh, what charity do we want to sponsor? And we were saying, these children, many of them, that could be the only present they get their entire life. Samaritan's Purse shoeboxes. And I remember when I had sent one off, it was probably like 30 years ago, and I got the most precious picture back. I think it was a little girl was like in Romania, and with a thank you card, and it was so touching, And Sharon was on our show on Friday talking about, I think her family, has said that they sent like 600 boxes in her lifetime or something. But anyway, she always sends a picture of her family and, a little message. And it's just a great way to.
It's about recognition. Everybody wants to be known or recognized in some way. Everybody, a little child just wants to be recognized. They want to know that someone Someone is thinking about them, and that makes them feel special. And if we can do that, it's so important. It's important because what else are you going to do? You're going to get to the end of your life, and you're going to ask yourself, what did I do?
Mhm.
What did I do with my life?
Oh yeah, that reminds me.
Did I do anything that was worthy or
And when you get to
valuable?
heaven, you will meet
know?
these children. You will
Think
meet them.
about that. You're going to meet these children when you get to heaven. I mean, so
And they're going to come up to you and they're going to say, "Thank you for that."
it's a thing. It's a thing. Like that might be the most important thing you've ever
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
And you didn't even realize it at the time.
Mhm.
So what do you do with your life? How you spend your life? But if you can take a moment, like really take a moment to let a child know that someone was thinking about them, let a child know that they're special, and there's a gift for them, and that's something that is is greater than all the gold, the mountain of gold that you can acquire. It's greater than anything. It's a gift that just goes beyond.
That's a good
Beyond.
point. So, anyways, you guys, for the rest of the calendar items, go to my Facebook page because I did not get to cover everything that I listed on there. So, please go there. We have a lot of fun things coming up. Matter of fact, not only that fundraiser, but on November 21st, we're going to be doing our Rocking Around the Christmas Tree sock hop. December 12th is also a Friday night. We're going to be doing the old timey Christmas
One
ball.
of the most popular dance events out there, and everybody shows up for that. We have such a good time. We always have food, and it is amazing.
Yeah, so lots of things coming up. So, take
That is
a
at
look.
the Well in the Square where we get well together.
That's right, 600 South Main Street as well in the square. We do a lot of fitness classes, dance classes, lots of just making friends, making community. It's just been a blast. Also, guys, there is a concert coming up. The Robertson County, the big band, the free concert band, they're going to be playing Friday. I mean, it's November 4th at 7 p.m. I saw a flyer up in the library, but didn't list where. I'm thinking maybe it's at the senior center. So, but yeah, I shared a lot of events on my page.
I
Guys,
love a
so.
big band. I always have loved big band music, and these folks are great. A lot of them have just been around a long time. They've been playing these instruments. They know what they're doing. They've got a great conductor, and I can tell you, you're going to have a great time listening to the big band out here in Springfield.
Yes, they're going to be playing fall favorites and patriotic, and they're called the Robertson County Community Band. So again, November 4th, they're doing a free concert at 7 p.m. We'll get more information on. I will post that on my Facebook page. All right, we are out of time. Can you believe that?
We are out of time.
Ah, so if you missed any part of this broadcast, guys, please go on and watch it, and also please share this show. We want to make sure Tom gets his home before
He needs
Christmas.
a forever home before Christmas. It'll be a Christmas miracle. Let's get Tom a new home.
That's right. And the other animals that are out there too. So guys, I appreciate you all watching. I'm excited to see you all. I think this Saturday, oh my gosh, this Saturday is November 1st, guys. That means GOP meets at 8:30 and then also prayer in the square. There's every first Friday, 11:30 to 12. There is a group that prays for Robertson County and for our nation. And that's right at Crossroads Bookstore. So lots of stuff coming up, being that this Saturday is November. Whew, I almost forgot about that. All right, guys, make it a great day. I love you all, and God bless.